You're watching Sky Movies.
Coming up, we take a look at a movie that in America has been one of the biggest box office hits of the year. We blast into space with Tom Hanks and the crew in Apollo 13 in a minute.
Take one last look at the sun, Springfield.
Lights on a Simpson on the cover.
Go!
Wisely pacing up and down.
I'd like to settle his hash too.
This is a chiller. It's gonna be a Skyward thriller.
Nothing can stop me now.
Art and Marge are sharing the same frown.
Look what he did to my best friend.
Rotten to the core.
Excellent.
Mr. Burns, well, he was more than just a low-down homicidal psychopath who didn't bat. Mr. Burns, who shot Mr. Burns?
Mr. Burns has been shot.
Rotten to the
The
core.
only one's a suspect.
Is he dead? Well, we ain't sure. The Simpson family's squeaking, faking, alibis and shaking. Mr. Burns, who shot Mr. Burns?
I didn't do it.
Then who did do it? Find out when the mystery unfolds in The Simpsons, Sunday at 6 on Sky One. Sponsored by Fizzy Chewits.
Now, we talk to the man who's won the Oscar for Best Actor 2 years in a row, Tom Hanks, about his follow-up to Philadelphia and Forrest Gump, a film directed by Ron Howard, Apollo 13.
The thing that is so rare that comes across your desk in Hollywood is a great story on paper, a great story in concept. That's the thing that everybody is dying to get. That's the thing that's more valuable than uranium-25. And when I found it in Apollo 13, it took me literally a nanosecond to having finished reading and said, oh, well, I'll do this.
In April 1970, 3 astronauts set course for the moon.
Houston, we go for launch.
In the 13th hour,
Ignition sequence starts.
in the 13th minute,
3, 2, 1.
the 13th Apollo mission was launched.
Get ready for a little choke, fellas.
And on the 13th day of the month,
Our next broadcast will be from the surface of the moon.
everything that could go wrong did.
Houston, we have a problem.
Fade in. All right, quiet fade. Here we go.
In this project, there was so much work to be done in preparation. Our pre-production on this one was far more detailed and rigorous than most. And a lot of it had to do with study. And so, in a way, the actors became sort of like study groups. You know, we'd have astronauts or mission controllers come in and meet with them and go over transcripts and talk about... So whenever they were pushing a button or flicking a switch or calling out an instruction, they knew exactly what they were saying, why they were hitting that switch, what it meant. So it wasn't just sort of fakey sci-fi stuff.
Main bus A undervolt.
Houston, we have a main bus A undervolt now too. It's reading 25 and a half. Main bus B is reading zip right now. We got a wicked shimmy up here.
Ecom, GNC, these guys are talking about bangs and shimmies up there. Doesn't sound like instrumentation to me.
Odyssey, we need a confirmation. What systems do you have down?
Okay, Jim.
SMRCS, Helium-1.
Switch to Omni, Charlie.
Barbacoa.
Houston, I'm switching over Quad C to Main A.
Roger that, 13.
Okay, Houston. Fuel cell 1, fuel cell 3.
We're seeing the same, 13.
Can we review our status here, Si? Let's look at this thing from a standpoint of status. What have we got on the spacecraft that's good?
When we were working on the script with Ron, we all felt that why make something up when what really happened is infinitely just as fascinating, if not infinitely easier to come up with. We dug into the transcripts, we dug into the lives of some of the people in order to come up with these things. And the end result, I think, is a much more well-balanced and honest movie. And when you're telling the truth up on screen, I think the audience is always surprised.
All I did was stir those tanks.
What was that gauge reading before you hit the switch?
Hey, don't tell me how to fly the damn CM, all right?
You don't
They brought
even
me in
know,
here
do you?
to do a job, asked me to stir the damn tanks, and I stirred the tanks.
Jack, stop kicking yourself in the ass.
This is not my fault.
No one is saying it is. If I'm in the left-hand seat when the call comes up, I stir the tanks.
Yeah, well, tell him that.
I just asked you what the gauge is reading.
All right, we're not.
And you don't know.
All right, look, we're not doing this, gentlemen. We are not going to do this. We're not going to go bouncing off the walls for 10 minutes, because we're just going to end up right back here with the same problems. Trying to figure out how to stay alive.
Where is this, Houston?
Are we on Vox?
No, we're not on Vox.
Yeah, Houston, this is Aquarius. Go ahead.
I know that the Actronauts, as we came to call Tom and Bill Paxton and Kevin Bacon and Gary Sinise, you know, they really bonded through this process of discovery. I know it was a great experience for me. I loved it.
In order to recreate the appearance of weightlessness, Ron Howard actually filmed in a weightless environment aboard the NASA airplane, the KC-135. This attention to detail runs throughout the entire film, and it's important to realize that no original footage from the mission in 1970 was used. Every scene, every shot has been recreated.
When we were floating, and when I would float past Bill Paxton, Tom Hanks, Ron Howard, Gary Sinise, and we would look at each other in the face and see this kind of joy and elation in this just insane, crazy thing that we were doing. You know, that bond, I'll never forget that. You know, we'll feel for a certain bond with those guys forever because of that.
Houston, we are venting something out into space. It's definitely a gas of some sort.
Like the heart rates are skyrocketing.
The Apollo 13 spacecraft is apparently losing breathing oxygen. The emergency has ruled out any chance of a lunar landing.
Why are so many people here?
Something broke on your daddy's spaceship.
I have a request from the news people.
Take it up with my husband. He'll be home on Friday.
Flight may have lost the radio contact.
Econ, what's your data telling you?
It's reading a quadruple failure. That can't happen. It's got to be instrumentation.
The ship's bleeding to death.
This rate, we're going to skip right out of the atmosphere, and we're never going to get back.
But we're looking at less than 15 minutes of life support in the Odyssey.
We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch.
Odyssey, do you read me?
How long does it take to power up the LEM?
3 hours by the checklist.
We don't have that much time.
Calling all cars. This is the Jeep. Be on the lookout for who shot Mr. Burns.
The police, they couldn't catch a cold.
The latest suspects are Simpson, Abraham, Gumbel, Barney, Simpson, Homer J.
You're a dead man. Oh, you're dead.
Simpson, Bart, known in the underworld as The Boy.
I'll get even with whoever did this to you.
Be on the lookout for these suspects and the solution to the crime of the century. Sunday at 6 on Sky One.
Sponsored by Fizzy Chewits. You're watching Sky Movies.